Hello and welcome to today's reading. Have a change here on the table simply because I am packing up ready to go, and it's just now down to the very basics of being here. And as we are heading now for the next full moon, which is in about 4 days, I think it's the 5th of this month, which is Saturday, the weekend. Things are being rushed through in the weeding out of our dreams that we planted at the new moon, and being again in the eclipse, the last of the three of the eclipse season. This is bringing up heavy demanding issues within our lives, within our thinking, and where we are going forward. And these eclipses, although they have a shadow, they block out what we can't see, but it also has the other aspect of throwing up within the inner world what it is that we need now to know and to address. And sometimes this can be quite shocking revelations that we see or experience. And having moved into the Mars being in Aries, we are now moving into this wanting to take action, to move out into the world. But the spirit world is advising caution in this, because there are many events that is herding us towards what an outcome that is not in our best interests. That is not the reason why you have come here. You have come here to stand solid within your light, to bring stability to an ever-changing world that is speeding up. And we feel as though matters are going out of control, but it's not that. It's just a question that we are shifting gear to be able to be in a new way of being, and much is falling away, and they're expressing health, the health of our body. And although there are those who are trying to prevent the forward advancement of our cellular body, this is not going to be done, because those having the cellular advancement of your bodies would not enable you to be good material for the AI system. And they are into massively ramping up these things, body parts and things, in order to be able to run the system. And we here are understanding that they also feed from the fear, the essence of the fear that comes around what is going to now take place, especially in America, and will also mirror itself in England. And we're talking about the FEMA camps, and these have been long built in preparation for this moment in time. And we're going back to 2012, and we are needing to assess where we have come from, because at that moment, Mother Earth actually said to me, when it was supposed to be the end of the world, it was the end of a way of being. And she deliberately released and has actively stepped forward to a forward movement, which we are partly in today. And it's going to escalate. And one of the things they want me to talk out to you about is food. Now, the whole food delivery, creating, growing chain is about to be hugely dismantled. And this will bring about, because of natural disasters, which has been set by the star systems. So it's natural in the sense that it was destined by the energies of the planetary and star system arrangements. I am not an astrologer, and so for these aspects, it's good to follow where you need to on that one, rather than just following these snippets of the energy that this is bringing. And by the end of the year, there's going to be quite a clamour to literally get basic foods in. And myself being personally, as the first thing on moving is to absolutely stock the freezer, not with junk food, nothing that contains sugar, but the absolute essential or basics of life. I'm talking about your root vegetables and a fruit that can be frozen, and to look at this level, just the absolute basics, rather than completed meals. It's best to look at the individual ingredients. And I have found whenever I've walked around a supermarket, 97% of it I cannot even begin to eat. It is harmful to me, or to use in any of its forms. And this is going to stop and rethink and rebalance to actually what we put into the body, and to reassess what can be changed, what is becoming harmful to us, that people today think it's a must-have. And we're talking about the genetic engineering, not only on ourselves, but also on the crops that we eat, and the harm that it will do to stop us from progressing into the new form of who we are. So do understand, this is just a natural parting of the way, where people like to be in the comfort zone that will not survive, and those who are in the more active get up and go, or saying, I no longer want to remain in this comfort zone, it does not bode well with me and how I wish to experience life in a physical body on this earth plane. And to become the warrior, not by going out and standing in the division opposite, but by being the warrior to change yourself. What you eat, what you take on board, how you gather your food, and most of all, what can you do to literally grow as much as you can? Because these are going to become as valuable as gold, the ability to exchange the food that you have on a day-to-day basis. Those that are being herded into those sky-rise flats, consider they are being taken off the land, so all they can do is be fed what it is that is decided that is completely unhealthy to the body. It would be far better to be in a smaller community rather than a city, a town or a village, where you still have access to the ability to grow as a community. Because as these things hit hard, and they will before the end of this year, Christmas is going to be quite, for those who celebrate Christmas, it's going to be quite a harsh reality. And so do think ahead as to how you're going to behave on this new earth, not with disappointment and being stuck in the old, but within love of the fact that this is shifting for your best interest. Let it go. Let it go. Let the old ways and the old dreaming go, and step back into your memories of your star being before you even set foot on this earth, and to the ancient dreaming, where we honoured the planet whose presence we were asked to be on. I'm going to go over to the cards and see how we do on the cards. They've already been shuffled just prior to that we shuffle them again and see what messages are going to come through. And these are, this part is more for, we've got one, more for your answers through your soul into source that is then come back down through my soul in order to be able to allow them to come through. I have no agenda, no thoughts on this. I just allow the words to flow and the actions to flow in whatever is required of you. And you may not be the one to get the message today. You may well be. This is a collective, and sometimes a single message will be there for a number of you who have a similar needing to understand something that's going on in your life. We have another one. Okay, they're saying cut the pack and follow on. And the first card we have is starting fresh. A wonderful new beginning is blossoming in my life. And with this, we have the day following the night, following the winter and the summer. And we have just come back the solstice. We are going into the winter in the northern hemisphere, and we are coming out of the winter, ready to go into the summer in the southern hemisphere. But we are also starting afresh because we are stepping into the Aquarius season, whereby everything that is going to pan out is going to not even vaguely recognise what was happening in the Piscean age. We are still moving forward, and often at the times of change is where the most conflict happens. And there is much conflict going on in the world because there are many, especially those who are going to lose the structures that they have built and believed in. They are going to fall. They're going to become tower moments, and they are going to fall. And they are no longer going to be in the position of power that they were up until this moment. And so with desperation, they are trying to hold on to old structures. And this also bears out across what has happened on other planets throughout this universe. Because what is not happening is the progression into the higher timelines. As we often speak, we are holding the entrance of the 6th through to the 7th timeline as a passage through for safety for the people on this planet. I know most people are talking about going through 4th into 5th dimension, but we are ahead of this, and we are holding the next level, and that will not be the end of the journey, even in your lifetime as we stand. We expect to go on up higher than this, and as we move forward and we go back to the ancient dreaming, we will then see the folly of the old dreaming. Many of you already see the folly of it, but those who are wrapped up do not. And they think that they're doing the best for humanity. And then there's those who have been bought. They have sold their soul. So we have understanding for those who have been put into a position and they sold their soul. But we have not sold our soul, and this is what the hunt is about. They want your soul, but within the structures that they are building, this hive mentality, what they don't have is the ability to turn knowledge into wisdom. This only comes about, and if we talk about the tarot, the 10th is as high as they can. The numbers are one in the 4 separate minor arcana is linked 1 to 10, in the different aspects, like the emotions, the mental, the material, and I'm missing one. There's a fourth one. Anyway, they only go up to 10. 10, they think, is the end of it. But that is the height of knowledge. We go on to the 13th to get the keystone, the 13th level, which is where you turn all that you have studied, all that you have studied that other people have studied, but then you progress within your heart center to throw out what doesn't resonate with love and to understand the transformational process of this into pure wisdom. And only then can you achieve the capstone of your journey of this particular set of circumstances. And when in the hive mentality, they do not even begin to understand the process, and they do not have a soul. The ones with a soul will actually be harvested and taken away, and all the rights of having a soul have been able to turn knowledge into wisdom. And there are many abductee programs where they have discovered this and they have given away their soul, and they are absolutely scratching their heads to understand how can they bring a soul back into their community again, because they have given away their soul to the hive AI system. Understand this, but understand it and keep it within. You do not need to go out in battle and try to force other people to see your point of view. Other people will come to you, and you have processed what it is until your knowledge has become wisdom. Understand your role in life. And here we're trying to give you tools to achieve the very best of you, to go beyond the 10th level into obtaining the keystone of your own pathway. And we move on to the next one. Making a difference. My inner light shines far and wide. And by absorbing what needs to be taken in, and taken it into the heart center, and your knowledge you have now turned into wisdom, and you have accessed the key stone to all that is, then you can make a difference in the world as a fully soul that is emanating out through your earthly body with your inner light, to become a beacon to all those that are floundering out there in the sea. And we will carry on with the next pair. And we have standing firm. I am noble, brave and strong. And I can assure you, as events unfold until the end of the year, especially October, November time, when you should have already achieved your moving of home, your moving of location, and get out of the fear, what is going to hit next is going to be quite catastrophic to those who have not heeded what their heart has been telling them, and they find themselves in the wrong place. You need to stand firm in knowing that you have prepared yourself and you have honoured your soul, that you have chosen to come here at this time to help humanity through these very challenging times by being you. Stand firm. Do not get involved in the little-mindedness, in the nouveau-dom of what people think are important. Know your worth, because you have taken your worth from knowledge into wisdom, and you have the power of transforming that into wisdom, and you have gained the keystone to your wisdom. And in that moment of knowing, you know that you can never go back in this lifetime to become a small-minded person. You are a leader, and by standing firm, with your inner light shining far and wide, those that have been stuck in the small-mindedness will become awakened and will be curious to know how you are shining your light far and wide. And they too will begin to leave behind what it is that no longer serves them. And you, just by standing firm, will be the beacon for those that are hopelessly tied up with what is going on in this world. This is your reason for being here. You cannot take another one with you if they are small-minded. And it is imperative you should understand who is small-minded and make your journey to the top of your mountain to shine your bright light. Without them, they will either demise or they will wake up. Do not let anyone hold you back in this critical time. And here we have believing in magic. True magic is abounding in my life. You are all the masters of what you create. You are powerful creators, although you probably have forgotten this with the small-mindedness and going back over many lifetimes when you have not been allowed to be because you did not fit in. You felt alien to those around you because they did not want you to shine your soul. To shine your soul means to say that they have failed to harness into your essence, your energy, your fear. You can create magic. Magic will appear in all sorts of forms. Synchronicities, opportunities that you never thought possible, but only if you come by starting afresh and deciding what needs to leave your life. And as we're coming up to the full moon, much needs to leave your life. Within my own life, I am assessing every single item that I have, and does it have a place, or do I leave it behind? This is a practical one, but it can also be for you, your loved ones that have another agenda. There's no love there. Or there are those who just do not want you to succeed because they would become very, very jealous of you succeeding, because it would highlight how dim their light is, if they have a light at all. And we go on to, and this one's come up I believe before, accepting what is. I accept and embrace my inner magic. No, sorry, majesty. Let's read it right. I accept and embrace my inner majesty. And you are very majestic. This is your true soul, shining through you. And it is now time to accept your bright light that shines within. To accept your soul. You have a soul. Not everybody on this planet has a soul. So be absolutely grateful that you have your soul. And in these difficult times, and I'm being shown the symbol of the egg with a snake going around it that is often thought of as a good symbol. And yet I am seeing a strangulation of that snake around your dream even before it could hatch into being. What does this mean? It means that you must be aware that many people are jealous of your soul. But that doesn't mean to say that you don't shine your soul, your light out into the world. Because hiding in fear is no longer acceptable. We are moving into different times, and all manner of things that have not been discussed is happening. You do not want to get left behind, I can assure you, on this magnificent journey that we are on. And again we have dwelling in truth. I stand in the light of truth. Your truth. What is emanating from your heart? Not your mind, your heart. Your heart can then rise up so that you can speak your truth. The area that holds the brain, the voice, the hearing, is purely a communication part in the structure. And this has been forgotten. In fact, it's been overridden. It is the heart is where your truth will come from. Speak your truth. And we're going on to the next one. Embarking on an adventure, I savour the wonders of the world. And here we have a high vision of where we want to set out to. We see ourselves in an area that is barren. You have the odd oasis, but it's not sustainable. Our world is not sustainable. If we were to stay in the old way, then the world will collapse. But you have your soul, and you have been invited on this earth plane to accept your inner majesty in order to be able to guide the populace into abundance, richness, back into the ancient dreaming, not the old dreaming, which has proven to be barren. We have here the clock and the harnessing of the lock part of clock, see lock, to lock you into rushing too swiftly ahead. Yes, we have Mars in Aries, and Mars in Aries is keen for action to move forward, but be in the presence of your inner soul and glide gracefully Allow your soul to be the wind of change in you and your environment. Allow you to drift into new horizons of visibility that will now come as if like magic into your life. However, you do need to connect with your inner majesty within your heart center, literally moment by moment. Time is ramping up. Time is speeding up to push humanity over the edge, to capture the essence of who they are, to feed on them, to close them down as a species of liberation, to stop them from liberating. This is what you are here to prevent, and you can only do that by constantly tuning into your heart center, even if it's only a fleeting moment. Just acknowledge your heart center in a breath, a beat of a breath. It can be done in the middle of a conversation. It can be done at any point as you're walking out, or you are looking at a computer screen. Just take a pause to go straight down and feel the energies from your heart center. It's going to be an absolute boost to help you in standing firm, for you to believe in your magic and the changing of your life to lead the world. We have the final card. And this one here we have looking deeper. Deep within me is a majestic radiance. You have done this before. This is not the first time that you've come to this set of scenarios on a planet, not Earth, but one of the stars either out within the heavens, or if you're like me, you have come in from another universe and have experienced this many, many times, where the universes have absolutely created a chaotic universe. This entire universe was created out through chaos, devoid of love. This did not come from source, but it was an entrapment to trap the souls of source. You are powerful. You know how this works. And by standing strong, standing firm, and connecting often with your inner truth, you can actually create the magic that is now needed to drive this planet to a better scenario. It is all down to you standing firm to make a difference into what is going on. The planet is ready to start afresh. And that we have the blessing for us to stand firm, to bring through our own magic and our own gems that we hold deep within. And I'm going to go over to Divine Directions and see what they wish to bring out again for this reading. Right, they're saying to take 4. So let's go for 4. We start with the first one. Nature. Reconnect with nature. Feel the sun on your skin and walk barefoot on the grass. It is also a good idea to consider what food and where you can actually plant food. Ready to share with your immediate community. This is a change in direction. Honour it. And the next one we have is birth. This is a time of new beginnings. Embrace the new life with open arms. And again, this fits with the starting fresh. We are starting fresh, and we are coming out of some very dark energies, but this is going to take years. They're coming back and expressing 2025 is the battle that is going on many levels of where you will need to stand firm. We have only just begun, and we are going to bring this new birth into this existence for Mother Earth, with Mother Earth. Balance. It's time to find balance in your life. What is most important to you? And in the balancing, we are looking at finding and accepting who you truly are. Rather than fighting it, you need to accept it and to see what your inner child and your soul is talking to you, and where you are out of balance within your life, out of harmony, out of the vibration of love, and make drastic changes if necessary to shift ready for this new stage, because it is going to be very tricky and very difficult. We are transforming, and that means things in the outer world will also need to transform along with you. And our last one is ground. It is time to ground and center your energy. Be truly present in your life. And these four are actually mirroring each other. We're talking about nature, we're talking about birth of new growing, we're talking about balance, that we have got things right in our growth, and now the ground, and it's honouring the ground and looking to support our own self within our own community. Many of you will be moving to a new community. It may be perhaps a street or two away, or it may be another town, like myself. I'm going to another place entirely. And for others of you, it may be even a complete country. But whichever it is, you need to be able to move to ground yourself in the new place that you are going to be at, that you're going to call home. You cannot operate if you feel ungrounded, unsettled within your home environment. And I will leave that with you for today. And I hope that you have gained benefit for whatever came through. I never re-listen to any of the videos. I do not sometimes even know what's gone out, well, most of the time. So I do hope that there is something there for you. And if it's not, perhaps it's just a time thing, or the message was not for you. Somebody else needs to hear this. And you may need to look for another reader to be able to give you what it is that you think that you are needing to hear. And in the meantime, stand firm, and may your heart star shine brightly.